I don't know about you, but there are times when life can feel overwhelming, and your mind races with thoughts like, where is God in all this? How much more can I take? What am I going to do? But you know what? The Bible has an answer for you. Today we are diving into a powerful passage that speaks to those moments when life feels like it's crashing down around you. It's a message of hope, strength, and finding your place in God's plan. So let's open up God's Word together and see what He has to say to us today. Welcome to our channel, where we unlock the power of God's Word together. Let's dive in. Our anchor passage today is Psalm 37:39, which says, "But the Lord is my strong fortress, and as for my God, He makes my feet like deer's feet, and He will make me walk on my high places." Now, isn't that a beautiful thought? Even when you stumble or fall in life, God promises to be your strong fortress. In fact, our anchor passage is part of a larger context, Psalm 37, which paints a vivid picture of two different groups of people, the wicked and the righteous. Let's first look at the wicked, described in verses 1 through 3 as boasting, being arrogant and violent. They chase after their desires and scheme to take what they want by force. These are the ones who seem to be doing so well in life, prospering without any regard for others. They live life their own way, ignoring God in their pursuits. Now, on the other hand, we have the righteous, the people who choose to trust in God. They are commanded to not be envious of the wicked, for their prosperity is short-lived. Instead, verse 4 tells them to put their trust in the Lord and keep doing what is right. That's a call to faithfulness, a reminder that even when things seem tough, we should hold on to our faith and continue doing what's right. The psalm then goes on to highlight the downfall of the wicked in verses 38 through 40. It says, "But you, Lord, are a shield about me, my glory and the lifter of my head. I cry out and you answer me. You console me in my distress. You are welcome in my heart. All your words are words I cling to." Here, the psalmist expresses his trust in God's protection and help in times of trouble. He knows that no matter what happens, God is there for him. He's his shield, his glory, and the one who lifts up his head. So why is this so important? Why should we focus on this passage today? Because life is full of ups and downs, and sometimes the downs can feel pretty heavy. We may face challenges and hardships that test our faith and resilience. We might see people who seem to be getting ahead in life without regard for others, and it's easy to get caught up in envy or despair. But this passage is a reminder from God that no matter what we go through, He is our strong fortress. As Christians, we are called to live lives that reflect our faith. That means making choices that align with God's principles, even when they are not the popular or easy choices. But let's be honest. Sometimes the path of righteousness can feel lonely or difficult. The world often tries to convince us that following God's ways will limit our potential or happiness, that living by His principles is outdated or unrealistic. But guess what? This passage in Psalm 37 is a powerful rebuttal to those voices. It's a declaration that choosing God's way is not just the right thing to do, it's also the smart thing to do. You see, while the wicked may seem to prosper for a time, their downfall is inevitable. Their actions catch up with them, and their lives crumble like a house built on sand. On the other hand, the righteous who trust in God and seek to do what is right are promised protection and guidance. God is with them through the tough times, and He helps them overcome their struggles. This passage teaches us that true strength comes from trusting in God's righteousness, not our own. In a world that often celebrates human achievement and worldly success, it's easy to get caught up in trying to be the best, the smartest, or the most successful. But the psalmist here reminds us that our true strength lies in acknowledging our dependence on God. He doesn't boast about his own abilities or intelligence. Instead, he recognizes that God is his stronghold and that his righteousness is what will ultimately bring him victory. This is such an important lesson for us as believers because it keeps us grounded and humble before God. It reminds us that we are not in control of everything and that we need to rely on divine help and wisdom to navigate the challenges of life. So how can we apply this truth in our daily lives? Well, firstly, it calls us to a life of integrity. No matter what the world throws at us, we are called to stay true to our faith and values. That means making decisions based on God's principles, even when they are not the easy or popular choices. Secondly, this passage encourages perseverance. Life can be tough, and there will be times when we face opposition, rejection, or even persecution for our beliefs. But we are called to hold fast to our faith and not give up. Remember, God is with us through every trial, and He will help us to persevere. Finally, this passage reminds us of the importance of prayer and seeking God's guidance in all things. Prayer is not just a way to ask God for help when we need it. It should be a constant practice in our lives. By praying regularly and seeking God's wisdom, we can gain the strength and guidance we need to live lives that honor Him. Look, the path of righteousness might not always be easy, but as followers of Christ, we have the privilege of knowing that we have God on our side. We have His Word to guide us and His Spirit to empower us. So whenever you face a decision or a challenge in life, remember the words of the psalmist and anchor your faith in God's righteousness. Trust in His strength, not your own understanding, and seek His guidance through prayer. Living a life that honors God might not always be the popular choice, but it is the right choice. It is a choice that will lead to true fulfillment and everlasting joy. If you enjoyed this message and found it insightful, we would love to hear about your experience. Share your thoughts, comments, or any personal reflections you have in the comments below. Your feedback is valuable to us and helps us in creating more meaningful content. Also, if you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe and join our growing community. Together, let's continue to unlock the transformative power of God's Word and grow in our faith. Thank you for joining us. And until next time, may the words of this passage be a source of strength and guidance in your life. Take care, and God bless you.